proper body mechanics can help prevent injuries and a whole host of other problems. But what are body mechanics and how do they help? Jared Brickey with Stepping Up Physical Therapy joins me now to explain a little bit. First of all, Jared, welcome, and tell us a little bit about what body mechanics are.
Pretty much body mechanics just refers to how somebody moves during their daily life.
Now, you're not talking working out. You're talking like just in regular everyday activities.
Yep, regular everyday activities. People sit, they stand, they bend down to pick objects up from the floor every day. And there's just certain ways of doing it that can make it more efficient. So people have a posture, certain postures, or their quality of movement can increase pain.
They don't think about this. They probably just naturally do it. So how do we get people into good body mechanics?
So for one, say we see a lot of low back pain in therapy, so like, and I'll ask, okay, so what's one of the causes? And they'll be like, well, I bend down to pick something up. And so I'm like, okay, well, go ahead and demonstrate for me. And when they do it, they just completely round their back as they're doing it, and then that's one of their triggers. So one of the things we do is we focus on trying to teach neutral spine throughout the whole motion. So if their spine is neutral and their mechanics are good, then it's just less stress to the tissues, less stress to the spine and the muscles around that joint. Another thing is that the movement becomes more efficient. So when people move poorly, then they lose momentum with the movement. And then they're like, well, I have a hard time getting up from the floor. Mm-hmm. Well, if their body mechanics are good, then it actually saves them energy and the movement becomes much easier.
And what can you guys do to get people kind of in line, so to speak?
Yeah, so one of the things we do is we look at, say, their movement pattern. So like, say, the squat, for example, or we'll have them sit and stand from the chair. It's the exact same movement. We'll take a look at the movement. We'll see whether or not if it causes pain. If they have poor mechanics where their spine is rounding, or say their knees are coming over their toes as they're bending down to pick something up, then we just work on certain cues on helping their spine remain neutral and their knees to not go over their toes. And then it makes the movement more proficient. We also see whether or not if there's compensation through the movement. So if they compensate and say it's painful, then we got to take care of that painful spot. Right. But if there is compensation without pain, then kind of like you said, it's kind of more out of a habit. So right. Then we got to retrain certain muscle groups that have been shut off and make the movement more proficient for them.
Well, very important. It seems simple, but it can make a world of difference. So, Jared, we appreciate you coming in telling us about that. You can find out more about Stepping Up Physical Therapy. Just call the number right there on your screen. Greg is up next with the last check of your forecast.